Hello everyone, hope you're doing and welcome back to my channel. Today we're at day 4 of the January daily LeetCode challenge. From the last 3 days we are getting some of the very good questions, and today again we have a very good question. It's a medium level question, and it's something that you can expect in a good interview. Okay, in some decent company interview you can expect this kind of question because there is a lot of thinking involved, and at the same time this is slightly easy to solve because you don't need any big algorithms to solve this kind of questions. You need not know any standard algorithms to solve this kind of question. You just need a bit of logic, you just need a bit of observation, and you can solve this kind of questions. Okay, we'll see this question today. I felt that, yeah, this question is something which you can expect at a novice level. That is, yeah, it's a very decent one for a beginner to solve. Okay, that's what I want to say as my first comment. Now let's go to the question. It's okay. Before that, I will be showing you both Java and Python for this code. Okay, and yeah, that's all. Okay, let's begin now. It's 1930 unique length 3 palindromic subsequence. Okay, so basically what is a palindrome? See, palindrome means that, we'll see the question, but just I'm telling you the hint of what is a palindrome. Palindrome is something. Palindrome, first of all, it's a word. Okay, it's a word. If you read from left to right and from right to left, okay, in both the ways it will be the same. Okay, for example, okay, let me give you example here, because you know these things, because in the interview, no, if the question is slightly easy, then interval will be asking you these things, and if you're not able to answer, no, it will be, you will be feeling demotivated. Okay, so that's why I always say that, please be prepared with these things, because if you answer them correctly, you will get a confidence, and even if the question is hard, you will be able to give something which will be, impressing the interviewer. Okay, so I'm just giving a sample here. So if you see this particular word, let me zoom in and let me show you. So yeah, this is something that you can call as a palindrome. Okay, so they've given the definition here. Okay, yeah, but like I'm giving another example from my experience here. This is some very common name in India. Okay, see this part. If you read it from left to right, at the same time if you read it from right to left, you will get to know that, yeah, it's the same. Okay, it's exactly the same. Okay, if you read from left to right, it is nitin, and similarly from right to left, if you read, it's again nitin. So these kind of words are called palindrome. Okay, but in the current question there is even more restriction. They are saying it should be of length 3. Okay, the one that I am showing you, it's of length 5, but they are saying it should be of length 3. Okay, it's odd length, remember that. Fine. So let us go to the question now. It just as example I mentioned this before this question starts. Okay, 1930 unique length 3 palindromic subsequences. So given, okay, see the input, we are just given a string. Okay, and we have to return a answer. So if you see the constraints, basically the length of the string it is given to us as the input is going to be up to 10 power 5. Okay, and there are only lowercase English characters in this. This is something very good, because please note this part, because if this question involves something, let us say uppercase is also involved, or if under than letters there is something more involved, like some special characters and all that, then the complexity of the question will be different. Okay, it will be different. But in the current case, they are like making it very very easy for you, because of this. Okay, and obviously this is very standard when it comes to normal, medium level questions in LeetCode, up to 10 by 5 range. Okay, fine. Yeah, now coming to the question. Given a string as written the number of unique palindromes of length 3 that are subsequences of s. Okay, so what are subsequences? We'll come to this. Remember, there are two things here. One thing is a substring, the other one is a subsequence. Okay, we'll see the examples now, but in this question they are talking about subsequence. Okay, and the subsequence that we are talking about should be a palindrome, a unique palindrome of length 3. Okay, this part is very very important. Okay, we'll come to this. Note that even if there are multiple ways to obtain the same subsequence, it is still counted as only once, because we are talking about unique. Okay, unique palindromes. A palindrome is a string that reads the same forward and backward. Okay, this thing I showed you with the example. If you read from left to right and from right to left, it will still be the same. Okay, as simple as that. Now they're giving a definition of subsequence. I will give you example for that. Okay, they have also given examples here. If you see this A B C D E, see subsequence, first of all, like please try to decode this word. Remove this particular word sub. Just understand the word sequence. So what is a sequence? Sequence means that the way in which this appears in this, it should be the same. Okay, that is the meaning of the word sequence. So what is subsequence? Subsequence means that take the whole array, okay, delete one or two characters, whatever is remaining is a subsequence. Okay, this is the most simple way of telling this. Take the whole string, remove one or two characters or null characters. You need not even remove anything, or you can remove something. After that, whatever is the remaining, that is called a subsequence. In this case, if you see, they are removing B and D. Okay, so you're left with ACE. So the idea here is the sequence in which A, C, and E appears. Okay, that is A appears first, and then C appears, and then E appears. If you maintain the same sequence, you are going to get a subsequence of the original word. Okay, original string. So that is the idea behind subsequence. Okay, and if you talk about sub array means that it should be contiguous. In this case, if you see A and C are not continuous. Okay, they're not adjacent to each other. But in case of subarray, it has to consist of adjacent elements, for example a and b. So current question doesn't deal with subarray, so we only need to know about subsequence. Okay, so this is a very good example of subsequence. Dig more deep if you're not very thorough with these things. Just do a Google search, you will get multiple examples. So first be very clear with this topic and then begin the question. Okay, fine. Now, so we have to again focus on this part. Okay, now one thing is I want to draw your attention is it has to be unique. That is point number one. Second point is it has to have length 3. Now we'll talk about something here. Okay, we'll see the example one and then I will discuss something that is relevant to this question. Okay, see the example one. This is the string event was. Okay, and we need unique palindromic subsequences of length 3. So they are saying the answer is 3. They have given some examples here how they're getting it. Okay, ABA, A triple, that is triple A, and ACA. They have highlighted how they're taking it and they're getting it. Okay, you can go through this example, but I will tell you something that is more relevant here. Okay, so you can go through the example 1 and 2, and okay, there are one more example 3 also there. You can go through that, but yeah, I will just tell you what is something that you should be looking at here. Okay, see, first of all, what is a palindrome? As I mentioned, palindrome is something which will be the same when you are going to read it from left to right and from right to left. Okay, that is one thing is very clear. Next thing is, if the palindrome is odd, okay, the length is odd, we got some more advantage here. If you see what is happening, okay, let me take string 3 itself. Okay, length 3 itself. See here, a b a. Okay, so whenever the length is 3 and we know that this particular word is a palindrome, what is the first property? First property tells that this particular character and this particular character has to be the same. So in this case, if you see, we are left with only these kind of strings. Okay, so we have only 26 I can say like designs to for which we have to search. Okay, if you see here, see, any subs length 3 and palindrome means anything of this type. Okay, since we are dealing with only lowercase English characters, something like this. Okay, it will start with a, it will end with a, and in between anything that come. Okay, because the length is 3 and which is odd number, that means this b can be anything. Okay, it can be c also, it can be d also, it can be anything for that reason. Okay, so if you see here, that's why I mentioned the underscore here. That means anything can be replaced with this. Okay, as simple as that. So these are the various we have the patterns which the answer can belong to. Okay, so obviously the answer will be one among them. Okay, what are the patterns? It can start with a, it can end with a. Okay, similarly in between them anything can be there. Similarly b, it can start with a b and it can end with a b, and in between them any of the 26 characters can be there. Okay, any one of them, the 26 characters can be there, still it will be valid. Okay, similarly it can start and end with a y, it can start and end with a z. Okay, so one thing is very clear, the first character and the last character are going to be the same. Okay, one thing is very clear now. So after knowing this, what should be our approach? See, idea is going to be very simple. For example, see this example number one. I want for let us say I want the patterns which belong to this particular pattern. Okay, the starting with a and ending with a. Okay, so first of all, I should take the first a and I have to take the last a. That is, in this whole string, what is the first frequency, that is the first index in which a appeared, and what is the last index in which a appeared. Okay, so we get to know that this is the first index in which a appeared and this is the last index in which a appeared. Okay, so in between them whatever is there, okay, we'll have to take all the unique characters in between these two index. Okay, first occurrence of a and the last occurrence of a. In between them whatever characters are there, we have to take them, you have to take the unique characters in between them. Okay, as simple as that. So if you see the answer, it will be the same. Okay, they are starting with a, they are ending with a in all three cases, but they are taking something which is in between them. Okay, for example, here they started with a, that is, see this a, then they went with b, and they went with c. Okay, something like that. Okay, so let me first show you the output so that this becomes more clear to you. See this part. Okay, let me go to, yeah, example number one. So see here, first of all, I'm going through A. I'm, first of all recording their first index and the last index. Okay, for A, it is going to be 0 and 4. Okay, see here, it is the 0th and the 4th. Okay, yeah. So in between them, what are the distinct characters present? So they are going to be A, B, and C. Okay, fine. So idea here is all these distinct characters are going to contribute one to the answer. Okay, so in this case, this A slash A pattern, okay, is going to contribute 3 to the answer. Okay, as simple as that. Now coming to B and C, if you can see, only one B is present, similarly only one C is present. So these two are not going to contribute anything to the answer. Okay, so accordingly we'll get the answer. So idea here is we will try to search for the patterns like this. Okay, and then we will see, that is idea here is we will try to find the first occurrence of each of the 26 characters. Okay, from starting from 8 till z, each of the 26 characters, the first and last occurrence of each of them we are going to record. Okay, and then once we record them, I will go through each of those 26 now. Okay, then I will try to find among the between the first occurrence and the last occurrence how many distinct characters are that, and they are going to contribute to the answer. Okay, as simple as that. So that is going to be my ideology. Let me show you how this beings, how I am using this code. Yeah, so here I have created a map here. I'm calling it first and last frequency. Okay, so it is a map. Map basically means that it's a key value pair. Okay, it will be recording key and value pairs. Okay, fine. Now I'm going through each. I'm first of all recording the length. Then I'm going through each index between 0 to n minus 1. Okay, I'm just checking whether the current character s of I is there in this or not. Okay, if it is not there, what you have to do, you have to first initialize a pair. Okay, the key will be the character itself and the value will be a list. Okay, this is called list in Python. Okay, remember I will show this exact same solution in Java also, so please bear with me. So in this list, as you can see, I have initially kept two variables. Okay, initially both of them are same. Okay, so this variable that is of zeroth index will tell me the first occurrence of the character, and the index number 1 will tell me the last occurrence of the character. Okay, while initializing them, I have kept both of them as same. Okay, just for time being. So the next time when I see them, that is, this condition will not be true in the next case. That is, the second time when I see that character, so this condition will be applied. Okay, what is this condition? This time I am changing their one index. In that I'm appending I. Okay, that is, I am replacing I. The idea here is this will be changed with this I. Okay, this I will be bigger one. Okay, bigger index compared to the initial I. Okay, as simple as that. So let me quickly show you the output for this print statement so that it will make more sense. See here, this is the output, right? So this tells me, right, for example, for A, this is telling me that it is first occurring at index 0 and at last it is occurring at index 4. Okay, for B it is the same, that is both start and the end index are same, and for C also start and end index are same. Okay, fine. Then what we are doing, then I'm initializing answer equal to 0. Then what I'm doing, I am going through all the values. So what are values here? See, the one which I'm highlighting, right, these are the values. Okay, if you can see, the value has two parts. Okay, that is, the first part is this and the second part is this. Okay, each value has two parts, so that I'm going to call as I and J. Okay, for I comma J in the values of this particular mapping. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I am creating a set here. By a set, as I mentioned, in between these two indexes, for example 0 and 4, I need to go, see, 0 is here. Okay, just a second. 0 is here and 4 is here, right? So in between these two indexes, okay, I have these three characters. So I want to know that distinct number of characters in between these two indexes. Okay, so for that I'm taking the set here. Okay, so what I'm going, I am going between the indexes between I and J. Okay, that is, I'm starting from I plus 1 going till J minus 1. Okay, so whatever characters I'm getting, okay, that is, I'm calling those indexes K. I am appending it to my set. Okay, I'm calling it as a character set. Then at last, I'm printing this for your reference. You can comment it out when you are submitting the solution. And then I'm taking the length of this length will tell me how many unique characters are there between I and J. Okay, that is the first and the last occurrence of every character starting from A to Z. How many unique characters are present? Okay, as simple as that. This will tell me that, and that I'm adding to the answer, and finally I'm reading the answer. Okay, so let me quickly show you how it works. So see here, A is appearing first in 0 and at last in 4. Okay, so in between zeroth index and the fourth index, I have three unique characters. So this will add 3 to the answer. In case of B and C, since there are no characters between their first and last occurrence, so they are contributing 0 to the answer. So the final answer is 3. Okay. Next, let us go to some other example. Okay, here in this also, it's not. Yeah, let us go to this. So if you see here, we are starting with B first. So yeah, as you can see, the first occurrence of B is 0, the last occurrence of B is 5. Okay, as per this. Okay, now in between these, what are the unique characters? So these, among these, we need to know the unique characters. Okay, in this, if you see, the unique characters are A, C, and B. So the palindrome which starts with B and end with B, okay, can have these three characters as their middle characters. So there are three palindromes possible which start with B and end with B. Okay, so this will contribute 3 to the answer. For C, there are no characters in the middle, so a palindrome will not be possible. And for A, if you talk about A, this is the first occurrence of A, this is the last occurrence of A. In between them, there is only one character B. So this will be palindrome. Okay. So A is going to contribute 1 to the answer. B, that's the palindrome starting and ending with B, is going to contribute 3 to the answer. The palindrome starting and ending with A is going to contribute 1 to the answer. So the answer is going to be 4. Okay. As simple as that. Fine. So yeah, when this was my answer. If you talk about the space and time complexity of it, so see here what we are doing. This particular, as I mentioned, there can be only, as you see, just see this constraint. So see, we are only dealing with lowercase English letters. Okay, so there will be only 26. So the idea here is, in the worst case also, this particular data structure that we're using will be only having 26 key value pairs. Okay, as simple as that. Only 26. Since this is a constant number, it is not dependent on n. For that reason, it will not be contributing to the space complexity. It will still be a constant space complexity only. Okay, and yeah, these things, like, yeah, as I mentioned, even in even this will not be exceeding 26. Okay, as simple as that. So for that reason, again, like, these things are constants, this can be treated as constants. This will not be adding to the space complexity, right? So yeah, now coming to the time complexity. See, here we are going through all the characters, right? So this will be O of n, time complexity. And if you see this part again, we are going through all the values here. So at most this can be around O of 26 again, right? O of 26 again. Why? Because here we are going to the values, right? Values means that since keys are unique, so only 26 keys will be present. Okay, that's what I mentioned here, right? 26 key value pairs will be present, so we are going to them. So again, this will be 26 only. Okay, O of 26. Yep. So yeah, if you see on whole, this solution is again going to be around O of n time complexity and O of constant space complexity, right? So yep, this was the Python solution. Now coming to the Java solution, the exact same thing I'm doing it here also. I am creating a map as a member of the class itself. Okay, the idea here is whenever the solution is called again and again, this function will be called again and again. But since the class object will be constant, so that's why I'm creating it here itself, right? You can even create it here. Okay, there is no such obligation. You can do either way. Okay, I'm creating it here. Okay, so here each key is going to be a character. Each value is going to be a list of integers. Okay. Yep. Each value is going to be a list of integers. The way we saw it in Python. Okay. Fine. This I, the name I've kept same as that of the Python solution. I am declaring n and answer. Okay. As simple as that. This answer you can even mark as 0 because we are going to initialize it here, right? Then I'm doing this dot n is equal to the length of the string, and then I'm initializing this is equal to new hash map, and I'm passing the value 26 because at max it's going to store only 26 key value pairs. Okay, as simple as that. Then I'm initializing the answer with 0, and then I'm starting it. Okay, this particular for loop is for filling the data structure. Okay, filling this particular data structure. What it will do, it will just go through each of the characters. Okay, then it will just check whether it is we are seeing that character for the first time. Okay, if we are seeing that character for the first time, what we have to do, we have to put this particular key and this as the value. Okay, this as the value for it. Okay, how I'm putting the value, remember the value has to be a list of integers. Okay, in Java. For that reason I'm using the arrays dot is as list function. So here, as I mentioned the Python, right? So see here, this will be the initial value in this. Okay, so similarly I'm using this in Java. I'm creating a list, and these are the two values which are going to be present in my list. Okay, as simple as that. For this particular key, okay, this is going to be the key. So the next second time when we are seeing this, what we have to do, but it's very simple. We have to first get this particular key. Okay, once we get the key, we have to use that value. See, when you go do the get function, what will happen is you'll pass the key here, so the value will be fetched for that. Okay, so the value is going to be list. Okay, so after, see, this whole thing will return the list now. Okay, since the value is a list, the list will be written in the list. I'm going to call this set function. Okay, that is in the index number 1 I'm going to set this particular value. Okay, that is in the index number 1 I'm going to change the value. So this is what we did in Python also. Okay, if you see in the index number 1, in the list, that is this particular part, right? I'm going to index number 1 and I'm changing the value here. Okay, the same thing I'm doing in the Java. Once that is done, now we are good with the data structure. Now we have to do the final calculation. So what we are doing, I am starting with, okay, that is, I'm calling, I'm going to call the values. As I mentioned, okay, let me show this first again. So see this part, see, we are only bothered about the values. Okay, we know there can be at most 26 keys and 26 values. We are only bothered about the values and not the keys. Okay, if you see in the Python also, I'm only bothered about the values. I'm not bothered about the keys. Okay, for that reason I'm just calling the values. Okay, I'm just going to the values. The values are going to be a list of integer in my case. Okay, right, I'm going through them. Okay, you can write, see, remember one thing, there's a keyword called auto in C++. Okay, so whenever you write auto, what happens is the compiler, that is the interpreter ID, whatever you're using, will predict the data type of it. Okay, and similarly, I am doing that here. Okay, if you see for k, I'm not mentioning data type. Ideally the data type should be list of integer. Okay, but I have mentioned as a var. Okay, as simple as that, because the interpreter can interpret it on its own. Okay, as simple as that. Okay, with the ID or whichever way you're compiling it or whatever you're doing, it has to be interpreted on its own. Okay, as simple as that. Ideally you should be mentioning this, but yeah, this is a faster way of doing it if you are writing very complex stuff. Okay, yeah, then what you are doing, see, this k is now going to be a list of integers. Okay, so what I'm doing, I am calling I as this k dot get of 0 and j equal to k dot get of 1. That is, I is going to be the initial index in which this particular thing was, that is, this particular key was present, and j is going to be the last index in which this key was present. Okay, I am creating a character set. Okay, to record the characters between these two indexes. Okay, again the maximum length is going to be 26, right? What I'm doing, this I am then starting the loop. Okay, for index p, I'm going from I plus 1 till j. Okay, less than j, remember that. Fine. Then I'm doing p plus plus. So in each case, what I'm doing, for the each of the characters in between these two indexes, I'm adding it to my character set. Okay, as simple as that. This is the character set. So at last, I'm just taking the size of the number of characters present here to get the unique number of keys, that is unique number of characters between these two indexes, I and j. I and j. After that, I'm simply adding to the answer and I'm writing the answer. So let me quickly run the solution and show it to you. Yeah. As you can see, this is clearing all the test cases. I have already submitted the Python and the Java solution, and both of them are working fine. You can submit them, or it will work very fine, right? So this the Python and both the Java solution are the exact same space and time complexity. It is O of n time complexity and O of one space complexity for both Python and Java. So Yapan, this was the question. I felt this question was slightly on the easier side, but again, this is not something that you can see and predict on your own. Okay, you need a pen and paper. You need to do some calculations and understand what is happening. I mean to say that you have to understand the pattern that okay, there can be only 26 patterns here. Okay, only 26, so which is a constant number, right? Then you have to come to the idea that I only need the index of the first occurrence of A and the last occurrence of A. Okay, same thing we are doing it here, right? If you see, J is going to the first occurrence of that particular key, and J is going to be the last occurrence of that particular key. Okay, INJ. Same thing we are doing here, and then among those two indexes, that is first and the last occurrence, in between them, for example, here these characters are present. Okay, in between the first and last occurrence of A, these are the unique characters which are present. So each one of them is going to contribute one to the answer. Okay, so we'll have to count all of them, and we have to keep adding them to the answer for each of these patterns. Okay, for each of these patterns. So we are going through each of these patterns, and we are going through their first and last occurrence, the index in which they occurred first and the index in which they occurred last. In between them, what are the characters? We want to get only the unique characters in between those two indexes. We are getting them, and at last we are taking the length out of that. We are adding that to the answer. So the idea here is the unique characters present in between the first and the last occurrence of each of the characters from A to Z is going to be is going to be our answer. Okay, we have to count that, and that is going to be our answer. So yeah, fun. That was all for this video. This question was I felt was something really good because here there is a lot to discuss, and I'm damn sure that interviewer will find okay. Here the discussion will be more than the coding part. I agree that coding part is not that much huge or complex, but the discussion will be more on the topics like what is palindrome, what is the significance of it, what are subsequences, how it can be used here. Okay, all this that stuff. Okay, they may ask you the difference between subsequence and a subarray, but yeah, this question is slightly on the primitive level. It's not a very complex question. It's not very algorithmic heavy question. Okay, it doesn't need a very deep knowledge of algorithms or like graph entry, all that, right? So this is something easy. It's totally based on observation, and yeah, this is something good to begin with. Okay, as simple as that. So yeah, that was all for this particular video. The acceptance rate for this is again high, like yesterday's question I just showed you, that has around 50% acceptance rate. This was slightly easier compared to that. Okay, as simple as that. So yeah, that was all for this video. If you like my efforts, please subscribe to the channel. And we are at the day 4 of the January Delete Code Challenge. Please keep continuing. Okay, your aim should be to have at least 250 plus days of solving lead code in this year. Okay, that should be your aim. If you're able to achieve it, okay, remember that it has to be a sincere effort. Okay, not on the just for the purpose of maintaining a record, not for the simply for the purpose of maintaining a degree or a record. If you are sincerely doing, if you're maintaining 250 plus days of lead code in this particular year, I'm damn sure that you can do wonders in your life. Okay, this, remember, this 6 to 7 months of hard work can put you around 5 years ahead in your life. So please do that. I am damn sure you will be able to do it, and please be consistent. If you learn, if you are able to learn something new, please do share with others so that you can create a community in which you can benefit at the same time others will get benefit from you. So often that was all that I wanted to say. If you like my efforts, please subscribe. This really gives a lot of motivation to continue further. See you tomorrow. Thanks a lot.